It's Salt's YouTube channel, and we are having some important conversations about hot topics. And today I'm joined by Charles.
Yay!
Yay!
Hi.
For those who watch the YouTube channel all the time, dedicated fans will recognise Charles from the Third Wheel Date, where the bloke, which was Charles, turned up with Lego roses for your date. And give us a quick update. Have you guys kept in touch? No. Okay. Well, you didn't match on the day.
No, we didn't match on the day.
So we weren't expecting a romantic update. It was going to be a really neat segue.
It was going to be
to the topic of the video, which is... Oh my gosh, I am carrying this on my back.
Sorry.
Can you do one thing?
Yeah, okay. Here we
go. And the topic is...
Can men and women be friends? And
That's
the answer
question.
is yes. Thank you very much.
Ultimately, we're both agreed that men and women can be friends without any kind of romantic interaction between them. And that is not only, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that is not only like healthy, but also like preferable and should be encouraged.
Yeah.
I think that some of the most valuable friendships I have are with men, for sure, now. And they matter to me a huge amount. But I also think that my friendships with men are different to my friendships with women. Do you think that that's fair for you? Like I go to them for different things.
Yeah, I think that's true. But I think that's more because of who men and women are, I think. Like, this is very controversial and I'm speaking without thinking. But I think, like, in general, if I'm allowed to use, like, generality, women are more emotionally mature and in tune, whereas guys are a bit more practical in general. I'm not saying that's all the case because I actually don't think that's the way for me, but like I think in general on average like, so it would make sense that your friendships with men and friendships with women would be slightly different.
Like, so for example, if I don't want to have a conversation about like how I'm really doing, I just want to spend time with friends, have a laugh, and part of it could be that we end up talking about something quite deep, but I don't want it to be a certainty. I just want to go and like relax, whatever. I'll go and see the guys. Like, I'd be more likely to be like, oh, what are you up to? You know, go to the pub, watch something. Should I come over for a cup of tea? Whatever. Whereas if, like, I really feel I need to get something off my chest, I'm far more likely to, like, ask one of my female friends for a coffee or a drink.
Yeah.
Does that track?
I think that's exactly the same for me. The problem is I'm a guy who very much likes talking about emotions. So I think, unfortunately, all my male friendships, bless them, don't get a choice whether they want to talk about emotions. I will bring it up at some point in the conversation.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, fair enough. I think that's nice.
Yeah, I realise that I'm not atypical, and so therefore I try really hard to do that, because otherwise I don't think guys often have the chance.
You don't get the same opportunities.
And especially if they don't have female friends, like, where are they going to talk to? Who are they talking about their emotions with? Yeah, I think it's the same thing. Like, I'm often, if I want a laugh, I'll talk to my male friends. And if I just want to blurt out everything that I'm feeling, I'll probably talk to my female friends.
Yeah. Obviously, the fact that we're even having this conversation means that it's a question mark for some people, right?
Yeah.
Not everyone watching this is going to be like, yes, of course, just like we have been. So what do you think the main concerns are when it comes to female and male friendships for those people who don't think it's possible or don't think it's advisable?
I think there's probably a fear that you end up being attracted to them, or that things could get messy if one person has some feelings towards you or you have feelings towards them and it's not reciprocated. And I think also maybe it is this case of we've been brought up to think that they're the other, that actually like we need to surround ourselves with our own gender or our own sex, like, which I don't know. I don't find helpful, but...
I do wonder if in every male-female friendship, there's one person who, if the other one approached them and said, hey, maybe we should give this a go, we should go on a date, they'd say yes. If you know you would say no to that question, then the person is probably the other person. Do you think that's too reductive? Is that too much of a...
I don't know whether it's every friendship. I think
80%.
I think you're probably right. I think there probably is like a sort of 80.
There's an element.
Take it down to 70%.
There's an element.
I think there is an element. I mean, that's natural, and it doesn't prevent you from being friends. Yeah.
I don't think it means that you can't show up as a good friend, honor, respect, love that person, champion their relationships, all of those things. And I think often with my closest male friends, we have had that conversation at the very early stages of us meeting each other. Maybe one asked the other out, or we've sort of established that for one reason or another, we wouldn't be compatible in dating. And then it kind of frees up the runway to just be friends. Even if there's a little part of you that's like, maybe I would have wanted to try that, or a little part of them. If you've sort of established that you're not going to, then I think it means that you can just park it and carry on in incredible friendship with that person. And I don't see that as unhealthy.
No. Would you say the same for people that you've met who are already married?
Do you know what? Weirdly, no, I wouldn't. I find it very hard to think of a married man in that context. I almost park them straight into this like safe, almost like they're a family member or your dad or whatever. Like you're just like, that is a person with whom there's no risk of anything. And look, across the board, I've met the occasional married man who doesn't behave in that way and who almost will sort of flirt a bit and open that up. And often that's not in a Christian context, thank goodness. But obviously what happens in the world can happen in the church. That's not exclusively. And I find that really quite repulsive on many levels. But on the whole, I wouldn't even consider them in that category because I don't know, maybe, a man puts on a wedding ring and they become a bit asexual to me. But obviously, hopefully, like mega sexual to their wife who they're committed to in that way. So no, I have married male friends who I do not think there's some level of one-sided attraction to. Equally though, I want to acknowledge that when a man and woman get married, that is a commitment that all of their romantic, sexual capacity and energy is directed towards that other person, and that is their outlet for their flirting and blah blah blah. That doesn't mean that they will never meet another person who they feel some sort of attraction to. And I think under those circumstances, if you're married and you go to a church or go to work and you see someone and you think, if I was single, I would want to pursue this. I do find you attractive. I think under those circumstances, the sensible thing to do, we flee from temptation, right? The sensible and honoring thing to do to your partner is not to pursue a one-on-one friendship with that person. Doesn't mean they can't be in your sphere or whatever, but I think that you'd be playing with fire to grab coffees or to actually invest in sort of deeper conversations beyond the sort of surface polite, we're at church together, thank you for that work project. I think it's okay to acknowledge that you feel that way about that person because you're not shutting off all attraction. It's what you do about it that it's important to sort of ask yourself questions about. And if you're pursuing friendship with someone you feel attracted to, then you're not really pursuing friendship, and that's a wider sort of what are you doing kind of situation. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, I think that probably is fair. Can I ask you a theological question?
Go on.
Do you think Jesus found himself attracted to any of the female disciples?
Okay, I can't,
because I think you look at his relationship with Mary and Martha, and I think they are friends. That's clearly
Mary, Martha and Lazarus, friends. And they're the friends who weren't. I love that we get an insight into those friendships because all of the other relationships, ongoing relationships, rather than people who met Jesus as a one-off that we see in the Bible are with his disciples. And it's those three who are his friends. Yeah. And they're not the 12. They are just, what they have is a real friendship. And Jesus genuinely cares about each of them. I think that's beautiful. I would never say that Jesus had any kind of attraction to one of his disciples or one of the women who we see him interact with, or anyone. You cannot say that. You cannot know that. We do know that Jesus experienced every temptation in the way that we do, right? He faced it and he didn't sin. And my strong assumption is that includes sexual temptation, which is one of the greatest temptations that we experience in our lifetime. So I think if we're assured that he experienced what it was to fully live as a human, then that is part of the human experience. He didn't sin, but yes, I believe he had the opportunity to sin in that way and the temptation to do so. I would say that is my theological understanding, but I am no theologian, and I certainly wouldn't want to speculate who these tempting feelings may have been directed towards. I think that would be carnage. That would be carnage in the comments. That would be asking for trouble, and also a theological impossibility.
So to quote theologian Lauren Whittle, But Jesus definitely had female friends then. Like, and I think
Yeah, he
it's
had female
possible.
friends.
So I think to just kind of like cement our view, like it is possible to have friends that are the opposite sex. Like if we are to be like Jesus and we're called to be like Jesus, then it is possible to have. And also to not give into those temptations. So that actually those boundaries are in place. So like with your male friends that are like, oh yeah, if you'd asked me out, I might have gone for it. Like therefore the temptation is now not to do that. Like there's a sort of boundary, I guess,
Yeah.
because you've said, well, I wouldn't. Do you know what, like there's like a sort of respect and
Yeah.
and I think it's okay. Like I think it's okay that friendships sometimes start from a romantic attraction
Yeah.
and become friendships.
There
And-
are so many
yeah.
people who've like matched on Salt or something, gone on a date and just known, this is not going to be the right connection in terms of dating and husband and wife, but we get on, we could be friends.
Yeah.
And that's like, that is super encouraged. I think that's to be celebrated.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, you know, it's not just romantic relationships, they're important for sure. So yeah, I don't think it undermines a friendship if it started from exploring a relationship. I think you may get into trickier water if you have dated that person to the extent where they're an ex. If you've had any sort of physical sexual contact with that person, I think that can add in some difficulties when it comes to sort of pedaling back on the relationship. When it comes to exes, actual exes who I've dated for some sort of length of time and called my boyfriend or something, I don't have any ongoing, I don't wish them badly, but I deliberately don't have an ongoing relationship with them because partly, and certainly not the only reason, is that I want a clear route ahead for a future relationship. I like to think that a future partner that I was with would trust me and respect my decisions, and if I was still in touch with an ex, wouldn't be super controlling about that. But in respecting my decisions, they're respecting that I have good judgment, and my good judgment is that's not the healthiest way for me forward or for that potential future partner. So my question to you then is, say you have a female friend. I'm going to call her Susie, just for the sake of illustration. You and Suze are great friends. You hang out one-on-one every now and again, but mainly it's sort of part of a group. And then suddenly you're like, I'm seeing Susie in a new light. I'm really starting to fancy her. What do you do? Do you step away from the friendship? Do you ask her out? They say the best dating comes from friendship. And then if Susie says no, do you have a friendship anymore?
I think it depends on the situation. Like, I think you sit with it for a bit. Is it just a thing? Like, you're lonely, it happens. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, is it just because of that? Or is there actually like a genuine attraction?
Is it ongoing?
Is it ongoing? Is it like a developed thing? And I think I'm a bit of a coward, but I would probably talk to other friends about it and see what they
You do
felt
the
like.
old my mate fancies your
Yeah,
mate.
like, how
Yeah.
does this... The likelihood is that you're probably friends with someone that they're friends with, like, in my experience. And so I would probably sense check it with them, like, do they know? Is there any, like, do they replicate that feelings? If they don't, okay, what do I do next? And I think, like, you've got to decide, is it worth not knowing whether they like you back? Like, or is it better to know and move forward from it, or like have it break apart potentially? Like, I think it comes with risks for sure, but also hopefully your friendship is stronger than that actually, like, you can laugh about it and move on. Like, hopefully there's
Maybe not like in their face.
no, but I mean, hopefully
Suze, that's so mean. Poor child.
but as in, like, hopefully there's a sort of, and it depends, and then maybe that friendship wasn't that strong in the first place. Like, maybe it wasn't as secure as you thought it was, that thing could break it. Like, yeah.
I do wonder. I think that a very low level bubbling, like maybe I could give it a go, kind of attraction is manageable.
Yes.
In a friendship. I think if you really have strong feelings for the other person, you're actually not basing your relationship on the parameters of a friendship. You're probably hoping for something to step up. I think if we're honest with ourselves, that's not going to be the healthy relationship that you want.
No.
And also it'd be quite hard if they start dating someone else. You want to be able to genuinely champion them in that.
I think I've had situations like that, and I think I've been able to.
But you're absorbing quite a lot of pain in order to be able to, I think.
Yeah, but that's life. Isn't that what life is? Just absorbing pain.
Oh no,
like,
Charles! Don't
sorry.
save your existential crisis for the train home.
I'll write a song about it. It'll be fun.
Life is kind of about
It is like
punctuated with great joy, but there are opportunities to absorb.
You are not going to be able to date every person that you fancy. You can't expect every person that you fancy to fancy you back.
Yeah.
That is fundamentally like that's dating, right? Like there's always going to be.
It just takes one, though. You know,
takes one.
Yeah.
So fundamentally, like we can live alongside people that we have fancied who might not have fancied us back. Like, and
you can stop fueling that fire when you realise it's not going to happen.
Oh yeah.
That can be very painful, but those feelings, even with that person still in your community, can and will diminish.
And I think also in the nicest possible way.
I feel like this is going to be really mean.
You can allow yourself to remove the rose-tinted glasses.
You can start being like, maybe they're not that fit.
Actually.
Maybe they're a bit mean.
Well, yeah, or like, actually, if I'm thinking about this practically, this would never have worked.
Yeah.
Like, actually, fundamentally, we're different people, and actually, it wouldn't have worked. And actually, as a friendship, this was much better for us. As a as a relationship, as a friendship, is better. You'd hope that the people that they love, you would also love, and there's a mutual thing in that if they're important to you, then they're important to me.
So let's all just be friends.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're getting at here.
Yeah, yeah.
Or just swap your friendship bracelets round.
Yeah.
Make sure everyone's got one, and just be in happy harmony in friendships. Thank you so much for watching this conversation, this hot topic. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Salt's YouTube for more.
So do we make out now, or are we friends?
Straight away. Yeah. Before it ends. Yeah.